So should I go ahead and introduce myself?
Yeah, sure. Well, let me do a quick little introduction. My name is Renee
Okay.
and I work for Spirit of Nebraska. I'm a program specialist, and today we're going to talk with Laurel, who earned her Gold Award. And what year did you finish your project?
2019. Yeah, this
2019,
past
last year.
year.
Okay, very cool. So I am very excited to hear more about this. I'm always so impressed with Gold Award Girl Scouts and all that they achieve at such a young age. So do you just want to do a quick introduction of yourself a minute?
Yeah, so I'm Laurel and I live in Omaha. And I've been doing Girl Scouts since I was in 3rd grade. I could not tell you what year that is, but yeah, since 3rd grade. And it's been a lot of fun. So
Okay, great. So can you give a short explanation of your Gold Award project?
yeah, so I worked with my church here in Omaha, which is St. Pius St. Leo. And I did this project where I made these frames that go in each of the classrooms so that kids can tie on like little colored ribbons, and each of the colors represent like a different thing to pray for. And so it just was a more like tangible visual representation of like their prayers and like their faith, and so that they're more involved with everything. So that was like the main part of that. I made like little bracelets that they could take home that had the same colors on it. So I did that too, that they could
Yeah,
take
and
home.
we'll look at pictures of that a little bit later too.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you choose this topic?
So it was a little hard choosing a topic, but I decided my brother had done his Eagle Scout project with my church, and so I decided to go talk to them. And I knew that I wanted to do something with like the children's education, like religious ed for kids. So I went and talked to the people in charge of that, which would have been Jen Fuller. And we kind of just sat down and brainstormed what kind of things we wanted and needed. Or I guess this wasn't really something that they needed, but it was something that they wanted. They had seen like other churches do something similar. So that's where we came up with that idea. And then I went from there.
Okay. So what people supported you throughout this process?
So it was mainly like my parents, especially my dad, because it was a lot of like woodworking stuff because I was building the frames. And so he helped me a lot with that. And then also Jen Fuller at the church, she was very supportive, and like even when I was like falling behind a little bit on my timeline, she was always like, "You're doing awesome, and I believe that you can do this, and we'll get it done, and it's going to be awesome." So it was good to have that support.
Yeah. So it was kind of hard for you to pick a topic. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
So
um,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what were some of the other topics that you entertained, or some other models of your project that didn't quite make it to the light of day?
Well, for me, what was really hard was just coming up with an idea specifically, because there's the 80-hour minimum that you have to have, which I went well over that with this project, but like, well, not well over, but I went over that. And so just finding something that would fit that wasn't either too small or just too complicated. Like, this isn't really something that would be a gold award. And it was such a long time ago that I don't really remember too much, because I didn't really write much of it down, because I knew that I was going to be talking and having like a brainstorming meeting soon with my church. So but a lot of the things were just way too complicated for a senior in high school um, to be doing, and like for a gold award project. So
Yeah. So how long did it take you from start to finish?
okay, so it's gonna sound like a lot, but it took me about a year from start to finish. But and this is where I struggled a lot with like procrastination. Like, it was really hard for me, especially at the start, to like um, just get going with it. Like, I had the brainstorming meeting, we figured out what we wanted to do, and then I made like my timeline, and then I didn't stick to it, which was not good of me, and I really should have. And so I had a lot of trouble. And I think part of that was because the like deadline was so far in the future that I was like, I have so much time to work on this. But um, so it took me about a year, but altogether, if you're looking at it like hours wise, I think it took about 100 hours instead of 80. So
Okay, well, this is really good advice because I think a lot of other girls who are either working on it right now or thinking about working on it can relate to some of those feelings too. So what were the hardest points in the journey? Like, where did you really kind of get stuck or struggle?
I really, again, the procrastination was really where I struggled. I had a lot of other things that were going on at the time, like towards the start of the project. Because I was a senior in high school, I was doing other projects at school. I had like some theater stuff that I was doing. And so my gold award wasn't really my priority at the moment when it should have been one of the higher priorities because it was really important to me and to other people. And I had people relying on me. So that was what I struggled with the most.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to show some of your pictures and you can kind of talk through those and we'll see what some of the finished product was.
Yeah. So I have my
Okay.
little
Yep.
PowerPoint presentation.
I can see it.
All right, so this is me working on building some of the smaller frames. So I built 10 small frames to go into classrooms, and then I built one big one to go in the like common area of the church for everybody to use. So this was me working on gluing the little box to hold the little strings that they tie on onto the frame. And this is at my grandma's house. And so my dad's here with me and we're in the workshop and stuff. Here is what the like kind of finished product looks like. You can see they have like the strings in the middle for the people to tie the ribbons on. And here's what it looks like with all of the strings. And so each one is a different, each color has a different meaning. So like red is like you're praying for health, and like white is like some, like maybe you're stressed or something. And so you're praying to like get rid of some of that stress, stuff like that.
So
And
yeah,
then,
can you go back to that picture? I have some questions
yeah,
I want to ask. So those are small pieces of yarn. Is that what those are?
yeah, so, and I had a lot of extra yarn too in the end, so I gave that to the church. So if they ever ran out, they had some more to like
Yeah.
fill it in and stuff. So yeah,
So
each one
do
has a different meaning.
yeah. So do when people walk by, do they pick one up and then tie it on there? Is that kind of
Hmm.
how it works, or how does it work?
Yeah, so I had put like a little, I made like a little instruction piece of paper that showed you, told you what each of the different ones meant. And so then if you're in the classroom, which is where these smaller ones were, you could take like a little piece of yarn and tie it on there, and that would be like a representation of your prayer, so that the kids could see what they were praying instead of just like speaking off into nothingness and then not
Right.
really seeing anything. So
Well, I think that's beautiful and helpful for everybody, not just kids. So that's
yeah,
great. And then did you design this with the wood, or um, you got help from
yeah,
your dad to build it, but did you design these?
yeah. So I designed these. He definitely helped a lot with when I got stuck on like what I should do with like how to hold the ribbon or the strings in there, or like just how to make it the best like structure it could be so that it could stand on its own. And so he helped me with that. But I got out like my notebook and I drew up what I wanted it to look like and like what the big one should look like and stuff like that. And then he helped me like put it into a concrete idea, um, and get it like work on it. And I did a lot of the like cutting and stuff and putting everything together, but he was definitely there to help me when I needed it. So
Yeah. Okay.
make
Well,
sure I
cool.
didn't hurt myself.
Yes, of course. All right.
Hmm.
Keep going. What other pictures do
All
you
right,
have
so
for us?
this is the big frame that goes in the common area. So when you go into the church, you can see this, and it still has a ton of ribbon. It has so many little ribbons tied on there. It's really pretty.
Oh,
And so what I have is this big box right here that has a ton of the different colors. And then at this point in time, I hadn't put the string on, but there would be the twine going here for the adults so they could reach that. But then there's also some underneath. So if you are a kid that's going to mass and you see it, you can also reach to where and tie it onto this big frame too. So there's access for everybody, whether you're just going to church or you are going to your class.
Yeah.
So that was the big frame. It's about 5 feet tall, so a little bit shorter than me. And then here I am opening my little bags and making the bracelets that I talked about earlier. So I have a ton of like little pieces of, not pieces, I have little beads that are the same color as all the yarn. And then I had little bags with some like bracelet string so I made them a little kit, and then they also had the same instructions with like what each color meant. And then the church was able to like either give them to the kids during class or like have them sit out for people to grab after mass if they had extras. So that took quite a while because I wasn't sure if I was going to meet the 80 hours, and so I wanted to make sure that I did. And I also really liked the idea of being able to take the thing home with you and have it with you wherever you are, so you can pray whenever you want to. So that took a little bit of a while, and it was really fun too. So, and then here's me delivering the smaller frames because those were finished, and then my bag is right here is where I have all the little bracelet bags. And this was definitely my favorite part of the whole process because like the church was empty at the time. It was like a Thursday afternoon or something. And so Jen Fuller was there, and we went around to all the classrooms and put them in. But we had some people that were there from, I can't remember which ministry it was. I think it was like the prayer shawl ministry. They had been there that day, and they saw me, and we just talked about what my project was, and like they were just passing by and noticed me, and we just talked about it, and they were really excited about it, and they loved it. And so just getting able to share it and like have it finished and have other people excited about it was definitely really fun. So
Yeah,
that
that's
was my
cool.
favorite part. And then that was my last picture.
Okay, great. Okay. So what kind of skills did you pick up from this experience, like soft skills or like woodworking skills? Like what kind of things did you learn?
Yeah, so I definitely had a little bit of woodworking skills beforehand. I took a prop and scene building class in high school for theater, and so I had a little bit of that. And then I'd help my dad build some stuff before, not something too big, but I definitely got a lot better at those skills and learned a lot more woodworking skills working on this, and just like how to fit things together so that they're the best structure they can be, and like how to make sure that things will stand up properly. So that was definitely a hard skill that I learned. And then the main soft skill that I learned from this was time management, because like I talked about before, the procrastination was really hard. So it made me realize how I need to work on my time management skills and what I need to do to get better at that. So yeah.
Oh, that's great. I think that's a pretty common
Mm-hmm.
thing to learn too. I mean, it's a big part of the Gold Award, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So then I have one last question. What
Okay.
would you say to Girl Scouts who are thinking about working toward their Gold Award? What would you say to them?
I'd say that the end product is definitely worth it. Like just going through it and like even going through all the struggles and stuff, you might be stressed during it, but then you get to the end and you realize that it was really fun working on it and working with other people, and it's really rewarding to finish it. So
Okay. Okay, and I lied because I do have one more question I thought of.
okay.
So what sort of this was last year that you finished this. So what sort of feedback have you gotten on your project since then?
Oh yeah, I got feedback that I wasn't like I wasn't prepared. I don't know how to say this. I wasn't expecting this, but I recently have been getting just a lot of things in the mail from like senators, like little letters saying congratulations on your gold award, and like something from the mayor saying, good job, you completed it. And I was not expecting that at all. And then not long after I had finished it, also, I had like gone off to college. I'm going to college in Lincoln, but my project's here in Omaha. And my parents had like took a picture next to my frame in church when they had went, and like people had been using it and stuff. So that was really cool to see that people were using it. So
Yeah, like it's getting the use that you designed it for. So,
mm-hmm.
well, thank you so much for sharing about your project. I'm really
Yeah, thank
impressed.
you.
You designed an entirely new product for churches, and I mean, I don't see why this couldn't work in lots of other places. I think that it's really, really
Yeah,
impressive. So, congratulations on your gold award,
thank
and
you.
thanks for sharing today.